Breaking right now at 5, a verdict just into the newsroom in the Mark Dial trial, the former Philadelphia police officer on trial for third-degree murder. I'm Sheba Russell.
And I'm Dawn Timoney. Today marked day 4 in court. Let's get out to our Jeff Cole. Jeff, what can you tell us?
Mark Dial is guilty. The former Philadelphia cop is guilty of voluntary manslaughter, possession of an instrument of crime, reckless endangerment. He is not guilty of the most serious offense he faced. That was murder in the third degree, and also not guilty of official oppression. But Mark Dial, the 29-year-old former Philadelphia cop, charged in the death of Eddie Irizarry in Kensington back in August of 2023, is found guilty today of voluntary manslaughter, possession of an instrument of crime, and reckless endangerment. It appears that in the end, the video of Dial getting out of his vehicle on that August afternoon, racing in front of Irizarry's car and shooting him 6 times within about 6 seconds of arriving on the scene was simply just too much for the jury of 10 women and 2 men to look away from. Now, after the verdict came down, we heard from his defense attorney. His name is Brian McMonagle. We'll hear from him now.
We've always said that Mark did not intend this to happen. He did not commit a murder. We're disappointed that he's been convicted of anything, and we look forward to sentencing. The jury looked at a lot of different things, and the video being the most important one, and they made a determination of reasonableness. I think they believed convincingly that Mark had no malice, no ill intentions, and they focused on whether or not this happened too quick. But, you know, you'll have to ask them.
And I think there it is right there. It's whether this happened too quickly for the jury to simply acquit Dial on all these charges. Now, we have heard from the family of Eddie Irizarry in the person of his 2 aunts who came down and said that this is what they were praying for. They believed Eddie Irizarry, the 27-year-old Kensington resident who was driving erratically on that afternoon back in 2023, that drew the attention of 2 police officers, including Mark Dial. He then pulled over. The officers came and parked parallel to him. Dial crossed in front of his car and shot him, as I said, 6 times. Now, during the trial, what we saw is that Irizarry had a knife with a pistol handle, and that he raised it up. That was caught on the video, the body cam video of the police officers. And Mark Dial, who took the stand in this case, said that he believed that knife was in fact a gun, that it was a barrel of a gun that was pointing at him, and that's why he shot Irizarry. But the family members say tonight that they believe that he had done nothing wrong. He was sitting in the car was locked, the windows were up. There was no need, they believe, for Dial to shoot him and kill him. And tonight they believe that justice in some part has been served. In fact, they're arguing that they believe they have prayed and their answers have been answered here. They believe and want Dial to serve some time in prison, but in many ways, people who thought that they were not served very well by this justice system now believe that they were. Mark Dial, once again, the 29-year-old former Philadelphia cop on the force for just 5 years, has been convicted today by a jury of 10 women and 2 men of voluntary manslaughter, possession of an instrument of crime, and reckless endangerment. He is acquitted on a charge of official oppression and acquitted on the most serious of the charges here, murder in the third degree. He will not face sentencing for that. Live here at the CJC, Jeff Cole, Fox 29 News. Folks, go ahead.
Jeff, do we know what kind of sentence he is facing for this conviction?
We don't know at this point. It is what they call a state offense. He is likely, I would think, now of course he has no prior, he has no criminal history. I would think a voluntary manslaughter may get him some jail time. They will certainly argue ferociously, I'm sure, his side to keep him out, but he's certainly exposed to prison time with this conviction. Now, in the court, really quickly, was that his mother was sitting, of course, behind her son, and when he was convicted. We looked over at Dial. Dial had his head down a little bit. Obviously, he seemed stunned by what had happened, but his mother bent fully over, and you could hear her weeping softly as her son was convicted of voluntary manslaughter, folks.
And quickly, Jeff, do you have a date on when sentencing is expected to happen?
Next court date, I think, is July 17th, sometime in July. The prosecution, of course, asked that bail be revoked and he be locked up. Defense said, listen, this man has shown up for everything and that he is not a flight risk. The judge agreed. He will be free. He will be back in this courtroom sometime, I think, in July for at least the next hearing.
All right, to be sentenced. All right, Jeff Cole, thank you.